So here's an important and easy checklist for all of you new agents out there who are showing property. First, read the agent notes on how to show and follow them. If it says that the lockbox is on the chain link fence over on the right side of the house in the agent notes, and you get to the house and you haven't read the agent notes and you're calling the agent, like, you're gonna make them mad. They're busy doing something else, not answering questions about locations of lockboxes because you didn't read the agent notes. Get used to and learn how to use showing time. It is a great tool. Use it to your advantage. I know there's agents out there right now refusing to use showing time. You know, they want to be in control of the calls that come in to be able to show a house. I'm sorry, but like, that's archaic to me. You don't need to be answering the phone. You should be finding out, you should be building marketing tools, you should be doing things to market the property, not taking incoming calls and scheduling showings. That is something that can be done by a system or a product that you can pay for that is very minimal. I think now there's even a free version through our MLS. We still pay for a little bit more advanced version, but it is something that has saved us buku time and energy utilizing the tool of showing time. Next, get there 15 minutes early, unlock the doors, turn on the lights, open the blinds, and check the house, check the toilets to make sure there's nothing floating in there. Make sure that there's like not cockroaches laying on the floor or palmetto bugs, whatever you want to call them. Like, make sure the house is presentable. The last thing you want to do is get there when your clients are getting there. You're trying to open up the Supra. It's very awkward because they're breathing down your neck. The kids are going crazy and you're trying to get inside the door. You can't even build rapport with them. You're running around turning on the lights. Like, get there early. It is your job to get there 15 minutes early and make sure the house is ready for them when they get there. And if you get there early enough, you can grab your phone and shoot a little video. Make some video content while you're there of the house. Now you've killed two birds with one stone. You're already gonna be driving there for the showing. Shoot some content while you're there. Next, check the documents for any additional information on the property. Like, nothing irks me more than an agent shows the property. Hey Mark, do you have a seller's disclosure? Did you check the documents section in the MLS? Oh, I didn't check where I'm supposed to first to eliminate having to ask me for it. That right off the bat sets a tone. If you're gonna end up writing an offer on one of our listings, I'm sorry, but it shows incompetence, in my opinion. It shows that you don't know or you were not taught the proper steps of showing a house, gathering all the proper information, and starting to write an offer. You're just wasting time of the listing agent from all the time that they already put in on the front end or had their admin put in on the front end to make sure that all of the tools and all of the stuff you need was already there. So please make sure you're checking the document section. You need to know the basics of the home and where to find those basics on the MLS sheet. What is the square footage? How many bedrooms? How many baths? I don't know how many times I've seen agents like go to a showing and your client gets out of the car, they come walking up to the house, you give them their MLS sheet if you do that. You haven't even looked at it yourself. You have no idea what year the house was built, how many bedrooms or baths, what the square footage is. If you can't rattle that off, you're not doing your job. You need to make sure you also have something tangible to hand to the buyer, like a buyer booklet, or if it's your first time meeting them, or a pamphlet or your property information sheet. Give them something tangible they have to take with them that has your name on it. That's marketing 101. You also need to inform the clients before entering if there's any cameras on the property to make sure that they keep their comments to themselves. Majority of the houses have them nowadays. It's gotta be over 50%, I would say. It's a good thing to go look up and see how many. But anticipate that they're gonna have cameras. Tell your clients that up front. The last thing you want is them going in and talking about how wonderful the house is and that they would pay X amount more while they're being recorded. Or go in and talk trash about the house. You don't wanna be that agent either. So make sure you're informing your clients about that. Also, don't follow your clients around. Give the people some space. No one likes to be followed. It's creepy, it's weird. Pick a spot and wait. I always pick the kitchen because they always seem to want to see the kitchen and go walk through the rest of the house, and they always kind of return to the kitchen. So I always found that was a great place to kind of just lean up against the counter. And here's a hack. When you're in there waiting for them as they're walking around looking at the house, send feedback to the agent's house you just left, that you just showed, the first house. So then that way that agent gets your feedback. That is another huge pet peeve of mine. Agents who don't send feedback. It is your job to send feedback to the agent who so graciously, and the seller, let you come into their home and show their property. The least you could do is give the common courtesy of feedback. Yet most agents, you ask them the next day afterwards, they don't remember what the house looked like. They didn't take any notes, they have nothing. So sending that information as quickly as possible. I'll tell you what, I take notes. When we get feedback immediately following a showing, my antennas go up. That's an agent that I want to work with. That's an agent who is on top of their game. That's an agent doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's an agent who is proactive, not reactive, waiting for me to send an email asking them for feedback. Be proactive in your feedback, not reactive. Also remember, when you're booking all these houses, overlap your times a little bit. I hate when I get a call from an agent like, oh, Mark, we're running a little bit early. How are you running early? If you would have created a better window or a better scheduling platform, you wouldn't be running early. I rarely ran early, and there's houses my clients would walk in that they hated. We were in there for 2 minutes, and I still didn't get to the next property early because I knew the strategy. You wanna know what that strategy is? Book your first 2 showings at the same exact time. That way, if the first one goes real quick, you can go right into the second one. Then on your third showing, book in 30-minute increments after that. Book them for 1 hour, but every 30 minutes. So for example, you had 4 houses to show. Your first 2, book them at 10 o'clock. Your third house at 10:30 to 11:30. And your fourth house from 11 to 12. I can almost guarantee that will keep you on track throughout the entire scheduling process. I learned that early on from a seasoned agent in our market because I was trying to calculate exactly 15-minute increments of when I was gonna be able to get my car over there and all this crap, and this agent just said, hey man, this is what you need to do. So I'm passing it along to you, paying it forward. And I can't believe I have to say this, but lock all the doors when you're done showing. Make sure that all the lights are off. Make sure your client didn't use the toilet and didn't flush it. With the locking of the doors one, would you leave your own house wide open? I mean, some people do, but you wouldn't. If you're going out of town for 2 weeks, you would make sure all your doors are locked. Here's a vacant house potentially that somebody can just walk right in because you didn't take the time to check all the doors behind your client. It is your job to follow behind them and make sure all the doors are locked. Make sure that the garage door is closed. Make sure that you do not lock the door in between the garage and the house. I've had this happen probably 5 times over the years where my seller got home, they didn't have a front door key. They pull in their garage to walk into their house, and the door from the garage to the house is locked, and they cannot get in their home. So what is Mark doing? Mark's driving over there at 8 o'clock on a Friday night to go open the lockbox, the super box, and let them in. So keep that garage door unlocked in between the house and the garage. This one's funny. Put the key back in the lockbox when you're done. Had an agent stick it in their pocket, close up the lockbox, and boom, they went on to their next properties. Next agent shows up, there's no key in the lockbox, and the agent goes, oh, it's in my pocket. And guess what? They were 25 minutes away at that point. So make sure you put the key back in the lockbox. And the number one thing you need to do, the number one point of an appointment, especially with a newer client, a newer lead, a first-time appointment, do not leave that appointment without setting your second appointment or having a follow-up in place. Whether it's you set a time to jump on a Zoom and maybe walk them through an area overview, or you set the next appointment to see the next house. That is your opportunity to continue that relationship. If you show up for a first-time showing with a client, you have one house, you walk in and they hate it, how are you gonna build any rapport? You don't have that opportunity. You need to have another house back up to go to immediately after. And even when you're done showing that one, you need to have a game plan. Hey, tomorrow at 5, are you free again? Let's go take a look at these other couple houses. I think I know of 3 more that may fit exactly what you're looking for. Know your inventory. Don't just like, oh my gosh, these people want to see the house, and don't do any research. Like, you should be walking in armed. It's like going into battle. You should be walking in with, hey, there's 5 other houses in this general area, similar price point, similar condition, that I think we should take a look at when we're done with this one, or tomorrow, Thursday, whatever it may be. But come armed with that information. If you don't, that's like going on a first date, really liking the person and then not asking them out again, or getting their phone number. A blind date that you don't have their number, showing up, the date going great, and you leave and drop her off at the end of the night and you do not get her phone number or his phone number. That's like what that's doing without setting up that next appointment. So make sure you're proactively setting up that next appointment. Here is a bonus tip, a bonus hack. Make sure you carry like a supply kit in your car, like some toilet paper for emergencies. Funny story, it's not toilet paper related, but it's toilet related. Got to a house early, was in there early, turning on all the lights, just like I said I would, just like I did. Turn on all the lights for my client, have to use the bathroom. I go in, always do this too. Turn the faucet on to make sure that there's running water in the house, because the house was vacant. You don't know if the owner, thinking their great wisdom, is going to shut the water off thinking they're gonna save $20 a month on their water bill. Turn the faucet on, water came out, I went, awesome. Went to the bathroom, hit the flush button, or the little flusher, nothing happens. Look down underneath the toilet, water's on, go back, turn the sink back on, nothing comes out of the sink. It was built up water pressure in that sink. There was no water in the toilet bowl and the water was turned off at the house. Luckily, it wasn't number 2, but I had no water. I had no way of flushing the toilet. So I had to close the lid. My client showed up, had the showing. Then afterwards, having to do the right thing at all times, I had to drive to the gas station, go buy 2 gallons of water in bottles, come back, fill the bowl with enough water, and then flush the toilet. So even if you do check the toilet or check to see if there's toilet paper, if you have to use it, make sure that you check that there's just not pent up water in the supply line and that the water is truly turned on in case you have to use the toilet. That will save you some embarrassing times. Peace.